Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flipping Ain't Easy. As you know, no Jenna here today. She's out in California with her family and hanging out with the family and doing the. Unfortunately, she's there for reasons where it's not an exciting time, but whenever you lose a family member, brings the family together. Of course, I couldn't go because I had to hold the fort down here, but that's okay. So hopefully we can have a pretty fun live without her. I know that when she's not here that some people say I tend to be a little bit robotic and kind of not myself, I guess, but I'm going to do what I can to be me. And I think she's allowed me to kind of, put myself in a different mode when I'm doing these lives. So whether she's here or not, hopefully we make that happen. So while everyone's kind of settling in here, just want to kind of go over some things. If you're watching the live stream with us today, please contribute to the conversation by putting your comments and questions in the chat. Certainly, I can get on here for 10 to 15 minutes, but it's you guys that keep the conversation going to as long as we normally have it, many times an hour and a half or more. And if you're not able to make it, not able to hang out that long, I get it. You're coming back and you're watching after the fact. Please comment down below. And if you have any questions or maybe something to say about what was said today, or just something that you want to contribute to the conversation, put that comment down below. But no matter how you're watching with us today, usually we have about 100 and some odd folks watching at any given time. And if you hit that like button, that helps get the word out to other people that we do have a pretty good community here, and we have a pretty good live stream conversation. So wanted to talk a couple things here. If you watch my video I put out this morning about glitches, we can complain, we can get mad, we can hopefully don't kick the dog, but it's not going to change anything. It is what it is. This is sort of the new normal. I guess if you've been with eBay for many years, I don't recall eBay having these many glitches, but it's just pretty bad, to the point where I was talking to Jenna. In fact, I was talking to Jenna and she was going through the same thing. And then I came across the little article on e-commerce bites where others were having a problem. If you have multiple accounts and you like to go back and forth like I do, maybe to work on one account, take care of it, or just check on an account, like I'm always going back and forth throughout the day. Well, whatever reason, it's really hard to log in now, or you can log out, but you try to log into the other account, it logs you right back into the account you just logged out of. And I thought I was going crazy. And Jenna said, no, it's been happening to her all week last week. And then, of course, there's other people that are saying that they're having issues with that as well. So I don't know what's going on really. I tend to believe that whenever I make a video that's not that doesn't make eBay look very good, they tend to kind of mess with me, for lack of a better term. I was having a good week. Thursday, really good day. Actually, Wednesday, a really good day. Thursday, pretty decent day. Today, crickets. And so I went before the show and launched my listings, end item, sell similar. Of course, I'm adding new product every day. I'm listing every day. So there's really, in my opinion, no reason for me to see this type of lack of activity. But you know what? I can't call eBay. I mean, what is that going to do? I can't moan about it. I can just kind of talk to you guys, and this is what I'm going through, and hopefully things correct themselves. Also, there's a thing on e-commerce bites talking about how costs could hit sellers as more states mull delivery fees. And Colorado's already doing it. Apparently, they're charging their buyers, I believe, like 25 cents for every package that gets delivered. I don't know how that's happening. I don't know if they get a bill. I don't know if it's like a COD thing. I don't know. But I know that Minnesota and the state of New York are actually proposing delivery fees of 25 cents for Minnesota, and 75 cents for Minnesota, 25 cents for New York. I mean, it's just a deterrent, if anything, for buyers to, maybe they're just on the fence of buying your item anyway. maybe they don't want to be bothered with fees, or maybe it's just uh, the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to buying your item. They just say, you know what, I don't want to be bothered, and they just figure out a way to handle whatever they're looking to buy another way. I don't think it's a good thing for, it doesn't affect you as far as what's coming out of your money. I mean, eBay already does a good job of that, but anything that deters a buyer from wanting to buy online or buying your item, I think is a potential problem. So, something to check out. I'll when I get a chance, I'll try to add the link down below to this, so you can kind of go read for yourself. But it's on ecommercebytes.com, and it's a lot of times we get our, for the show, like in the morning of the show, I'm trying to just find topics to discuss, because a lot of times, I mean, it can be one of those things where these live streams can get a bit repetitive, or we're kind of just talking about the same thing over and over again. You can listen to, in some cases, maybe go back a couple weeks and it's kind of the same, message. So I try to go to other places to see if anyone else is having these problems. And I just messed up my keyboard here. Sorry about that. So, hopefully that these things don't pass. I mean, a lot of times we talk about laws that are going to pass and maybe pass, and that affects resellers. And I think in most cases, a lot of this legislation is just talked about, and it never happens, because there's just not enough votes in the state legislators to put it through. So let's kind of hope that that's the case here. So if you guys are in the Las Vegas area, as you guys see, as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to go over to the downtown area, meet up with Biscuit Butt, and he's going to be out there, Archie. And then Mike Camparelli is out in town. I think he's in chat. I think I saw him in chat here. So he's either already down there, or he is going to be going down there. We just want to meet a lot of you guys. I'm going to kind of hang out with Mike. I haven't seen him in a little bit. He's a friend of the channel. And, maybe, of course, definitely go get dinner. But, it's Vegas after all, right? So I try not to make a habit of, gambling. But when there's friends in town and there's, it's time to maybe entertain a little bit, I'm down for gambling and that kind of thing. So that's kind of the plan tonight. And then at 8 o'clock, I believe it's 8 o'clock. I don't know where at the Fremont Strip. I mean, this is sort of what Archie has the tickets for this. So I don't know exactly where the meetup is, but Trash to Cash. You've got Carrie from American Arbitrage. You've got Dave from NC Picker, and you have Kevin from Commonwealth Picker. They're going to be out there. They're putting this thing on where they're kind of just doing a meet and greet kind of thing. And if you're going to be out there, I'll look forward to you. I won't be wearing my hat. I'm just going to be dressed like this, because, I want to look halfway presentable and not kind of sloppy, as sometimes I can make myself look with the hat backwards or whatever. But I guess that's my stitch, or whatever you want to call it, on this channel. But I kind of want to be a little bit more presentable when I'm out and about. So hope to meet as many of you as I can that can make it out there. So let's see who we have here today. It looks like we have Prosser is in the house. And he says, Prosser says, well, John, what can I say? You might not be as pleasing on the eyes as Jenna, but you still make a good host for the show. Hope all is good and sales have been great. Yeah, sales have been great, except for today. I don't know what's going on, and all I can do is be proactive and, try to, I hate to say the word manipulate the system by doing the end item sell similar, but I think it's a lot better alternative than just sitting back and twiddling my thumbs. Of course, this morning picked up some more merchandise and had the merchandise already in draft form. So all I do is add the photos, check the condition, add the weight, dimensions of the box, and the location of where I was going to store it, and then launch the listing. So been doing that. That's kind of been my routine. It works well. And just today, even my traffic report was down, I'd say at least 30 to 40%. And that's for a Friday. That's not all that promising. But I've had bad Fridays where we've bounced back on Saturday and Sunday. So let's just see what happens. Can't panic with one bad day. Sandra says, hi all. I can't stay for the live, but I hope everyone's good and safe. Well, thanks for hanging out with us at least for the time you can, and hopefully you can watch the replay. Mike, he's in town. Says, hello, everyone. It's Mike from Las Vegas, formerly from New York. Just loving your town, Vegas, baby. Well, hopefully, Mike, you're winning, because that tends to change one's tone when they're out in Vegas. If you're winning, everything's great, right? You might have a bad meal. You might have kind of subpar service. But when you're winning, you don't notice that. But when you're losing, it's like, why did I come here? I dropped $500. This guy's being rude to me. The food was horrible. So I've seen it on both sides, where you can really allow how you win in Vegas determine your experience. Mike says, just got back from my first trip ever to the bins. It was awesome. Bit of a cattle call, but I stayed behind the maddening crowd and got a lot of great stuff anyway. Filled up a shopping cart. So I'm curious now, for those of you who are out here in Vegas just visiting, or if you just go anywhere to visit, and you do, because we're going to be going to Cincinnati here in September. That's the plan. And, you get out there and you go yard selling, and which is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. What do you do with it? I mean, you're not going to put it in your luggage. So I assume that you're just going to box everything up and maybe, FedEx it or UPS it to your home. But now to get it all home, that's the question. What do you do when you get all this good stuff and now you have to send it back? And plus, you also have to figure that in to your cost of goods. So if you have a box full of stuff, maybe you've paid $100 for it in total. It's going to cost you $30 to get it home. Well, it really costs you $130 by the time it's all said and done. So just want to know what you guys think about that. Let's see. Thrift machines in the house. My international sales have been higher than ever. Rumors eBay went from global to international systems, and somehow listings for international have more sales than USA only listings. And that's a good point, because I've noticed that when you go do a search on an item, and this is what maybe get me back to putting my stuff on international. I think I might do that, because I think what's happening also is that when you go look at your listings, look up an item on an eBay search, you'll see a lot of international listings first. So like I'll see a lot of Great Britain or UK. I'll see some other countries in that mix. And it's like some of the US listings are suppressed below those listings. And, it's like this, if even at a higher price point with shipping, that item meets somebody's needs and they don't really have a timetable they need it by, they might just jump on that listing. Whereas, before they're, if the listings were categorized or cataloged properly within the search, because those listings aren't supposed to be near the top, then, maybe they'd be buying our stuff here in the US, and vice versa. If you're in the UK, you're getting, in theory, if you're dealing with the same problems we are, then you're getting a lot of international listings placed above your domestic listings in some of these searches. So I don't think it's intentional. I've been told it's an issue. It's an issue they're working on, but as long as it's there and it's in the way, then I might just have to throw international back on, because if I can get my items in front of somebody in the UK that needs it, it's going to be placed higher than, say, their own domestic sellers. Then I guess might want to play that game, and it might be worth the hassle. But I've got a lot of big stuff that I'm buying, and I just know for a fact I'm not going to bother with that. But my smaller stuff, I think I'm going to go back to doing. Picky Ricky has hit the like button. Here comes 85 live sales. Well, hit the like button for me, because Jenna's not here to do it. I'm not going to play with my phone so I can do it, but there's just something about hitting that like button and getting that sale within 24 hours. I don't know why. We just kind of pull it out of our butt, but it works. So hit that like button, guys. Biscuit Butts in the house. Hey, Mike, Ricky, Sandra, Prosser, and everyone else. And we got Kevin from Lakeland, Florida is in the house. So thanks for being here. I think we missed you last week. Wanda's in the house. Northeastern North Carolina in the house. Hope all are well and safe today. So Northeastern North Carolina, that's where my daughter lives. New Bern is where she's at. Purple Fox is in the house. Whispering Hill Farm. My eldest daughter made me a grandma yesterday. Congratulations. What I made on those bags will go to me flying to Italy to see my first grandchild. Wow, that's awesome. So you got a grandchild that is here, and you get to go to Italy. I mean, that's really cool. Get kind of a 2-for-1 on that. Let's see. Somebody else is in. Oh, I thought Mike was saying, okay, Mike's saying, come to Vegas, Ricky. They're giving the stuff away. Got a shopping cart of goods for $53. So I'm assuming it's probably going to cost a shopping cart. Might be 1 or 2 boxes. You're looking at about less than $100 out the door after cost of goods. Speaking of giving stuff away, this is something I think I'm going to do at the end of the program for those of you who stick around today. As you guys know, I went to ASD. And I went to different booths. You know, they have you put your information down, and I wasn't expecting anything. And this really isn't all that much, really. But I figure, you know what? I've got some of this stuff already, and maybe I can just share the wealth with you guys if you want. It's a box that I got from SKM Industries, Mid Valley Industrial. I don't know what that is, but that's who sent this to me. And it's some correction tape. So if you have some issues with your writing or your typing, some hand sanitizer. This is all one bundle. I want to send to one person. Super metal paint marker. Okay. Grout and tile marker. This is like the samples that they provide, but they're full-size samples. And then an anti-fog IT lens cleaner for your screens and everything, right? So I figure, because I either have this stuff or I don't really have a plan on ever using some of this stuff, that I would send it to one viewer here at the end of the show, maybe 10 minutes before we sign out. I'll have you type something in, and we'll just pick someone randomly if that works out. And I don't even have it really set up to do that, but it's something I kind of just thought about before the show. And if someone wants it, I'll be glad to, send it to you. No problem on me. The Purple Fox says, hope eBay and life are treating everyone well. Well, I don't know what's up with eBay. Again, I've kind of come to the conclusion where it's like, you can kind of figure that, let's say that uncle that shows up to the family reunion, you can wonder why he's the way he is and why he's crazy. And it's not going to change anything. You don't have the ability to change someone like that. So what do? Either you avoid them altogether, which some people are leaving the platform, or you just deal with it and just say to yourself, that's just who Uncle Joe is, right? So we're just dealing with Uncle Joe, and Uncle Joe, he hires people like Bob to take his calls. And unfortunately, it doesn't do most sellers too well. Hopefully, Uncle Joe maybe gets a lobotomy here and things change, but we can't worry about it. We just got to deal with what we have. This is the cards we've been dealt as sellers, and you either make it work or you go to another platform with half the traffic or less than that. So I choose to stay because the traffic's here, even though, and I'll give you guys another example of the madness that's going on. Even though I got another nasty gram from eBay, this is back on the 17th. So they said, activity on your account isn't following policy, seller protections abuse policy. Now, keep in mind one thing. I use the refund tool, the eBay refund tool on a return when and only when it's appropriate. Okay. And when I do so, I make sure to put photos to back up what I'm saying, along with a description of why I'm deducting any dime. And I might get a sale here. I got Mr. Barry Manilow shirt, and I'm going to take the sale. I'm into the shirt for $1. I'm going to do $5 plus shipping because I want to get this thing jump started. So, there goes the sale. So I have my sale. You guys hit that button, get your sale. It's not a big sale. I've been sitting on the shirt for like 3 months. You guys know that. So it's a Barry Manilow concert shirt. So it is what it is. I think I had it for like $12. I took $5 just to get this thing started. When you're running at 0 sales, you got to do stuff to kind of get your sell-through rate going. My sell-through rate's pretty good, but I just need something to start today. So that's a start. But back to what I was saying. eBay has sent me another nastygram, and it's all about the fact that they think that I am misusing the returns, and I'm not. And I was a bit bothered by it, and it's one of those warning messages that say to the effect of, well, in case you did not know this policy, and there's no written policy, by the way, that you can find other than what they send you here. But if you did not know, we just wanted to make you aware. It could lead to a situation where you can't use the refund tool again, that kind of thing, until they feel like, that your account's back up to snuff. I don't think it would be one of those things where you would be prevented from using the refund tool indefinitely, but for some period of time. So I'm like, okay, what eBay says here is activity in your account indicates you're misusing seller protections. In order to follow the policy, you must only report buyers who falsely claim that an item is not described. Now, by the way, I haven't reported anyone. Whenever you deduct money from a refund, let's say the item is in a different condition than what's received. Let's say they don't return all the accessories, that type of thing. You are allowed per eBay policy to make that adjustment. And in making that adjustment on the refund, it's automatically reported to eBay. So I'm not trying to report anyone, but that's what happens here. Now, the other thing is give full refunds on all returns unless the buyer used or damaged the item. Well, that's what I'm doing. And then when giving a partial refund, only deduct the value that was lost due to use or damage caused by the buyer. That's what I'm doing. It isn't like I'm getting these returns and I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to get over on the buyer. I'm going to keep as much money as I can, and I'm just going to let them deal with it. I don't do that. That's dishonest, and that's not how I run my business. Now, the policy they say is you may not misuse seller protections. Such misuse includes, and we're going to say it again, giving partial refunds in situations other than when a buyer returns an item, and giving a partial refund, deducting amounts in excess of the value lost due to the use or damage caused by the buyer, and then requesting a credit. Now, I've only had this happen one time, and I stopped doing it because it's like pulling teeth. Request a credit for returning shipping where a buyer has submitted a legitimate claim that the item was not described. Okay. So they've given me one $6 credit, and I think I've asked for it one time after that, just because it was supposed to be an option. And they act like you're asking, the whereabouts of Bigfoot. They just don't know what that is, and they act like you're just crazy, at least when I asked that one time. So this is all just BS to me. Why are they sending this to me? So I called eBay and I spoke to somebody in the US. I said, look, this isn't me, and I don't know why I'm being sent this. They said, well, it's probably a batch email. I said, well, it's kind of making me feel like I can't run my business the way I've been running it, and I don't want to be scrutinized for things that I shouldn't be scrutinized for. And he said, no, it's not a problem. Just keep doing what you're doing. And so, and the rep's name was Wyatt. I've got his information. I will make reference to that phone call if anything happens, because you can't send somebody a policy letter like this and then say, no, don't worry about it. Either I need to worry about it, which is why you're sending me the letter, or I don't need to worry about it, which means you're not going to take action against my account for doing what anyone should be doing in certain situations. I don't know. And then, of course, I get 2 return requests on large items, and guess what? They're in both cases, they just didn't like the item, just didn't like it. So of course I don't have free returns. They're going to have to foot the bill for that, and they're going to have to send everything back in the same condition. So we'll see how that goes. I always kind of feel kind of weird about returns because I want things to go smoothly, but I know how these Amazon buyers are, and they just don't treat your merchandise with much respect. When they know they're not going to keep it, they will throw the items back in the box without proper padding. Unlike, you may have done that for them, but they're not going to do it for you. And I'm not saying that's the case for all buyers, but I don't know. I'm just kind of leery of these returns that I'm getting, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. Purple Fox has slammed the like button. I appreciate that. Flippin' Con Marco says, hey, FA fam, hope everyone is having a super Friday. Hey, John, eBay has a major glitch shipped on item credited The label from eBay has already been delivered, but eBay still sends me a message to ship. Yeah, I've got a late, and it's saying Jenna had contacted me this afternoon saying, hey, did you check the other account? Because it's saying that you have items to ship. I shipped them and I ran the label through eBay labels, and you guys saw the video. If you didn't see the video, watch it afterwards. But I showed the video where eBay was showing that it was shipped only when I go in to add tracking. So I shipped the item, and this is just funny. I'll tell you about it in a second. I shipped the item. It doesn't show anything. It's still telling me to ship it. So I go into where I would normally go into add tracking if I was doing it on another site, and it shows the tracking number right there and all the information. So, and it finally this morning when I went in, it showed that the information was out of my overview and into my orders, but it was still showing Jenna on her app that I had 2 items that were late. So we'll see how that goes. Well, this is crazy. Why do people do this? I don't understand. They send me this request. It's a little lower than I wanted to for that sale that I had. They want to cancel this $5 shirt. Hey, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe someone's toying with me, but it is what it is. So yeah, just the way Friday is going. But all I can do is push forward and just try to make today as good of a day as I can. Let's see who else we have here. We have Jackie Bleckner's in the house. We have Truman Lost in Time says, hello all. I hit the like, John, check your Bonanza. Yeah, I did check my Bonanza the other day just for giggles. No sales. So right now, Bonanza and eBay are kind of neck and neck in the sales category. Bobbles, Blings, and Needful Things says, howdy, John. Hey, gang. Where's Pretty Jenna? As I mentioned, she's with her family, and she'll be back on Tuesday, which means that she won't be here on Friday. You guys notice something? Anybody? I think I'm going to do this. That's going to be the first thing I do to get rid of this thing. The first person, and right now it's 3:27. First person that can notice something different, other than me not wearing a hat and my hair all over the place, will get this if you want it. So just put that in. It's 3:27 right now Pacific time. So any answer after that, if you guessed it beforehand, guess it again. Maybe if you noticed it, and I just haven't seen it. Bearded Poketuber says, already got my like button sale. Awesome. William Poland says, I have a question. What benefits is it to sell a $50 item for 1 cent and charge $50 on shipping on eBay? The only benefit that you have is if that person gets kind of sketchy about it and says, you know what, I spent $50 and 1 cent on this item and I really don't like it. I'm going to send it back, and I'm going to get most of my money back, because your $50 and 1 cent with free shipping is all bundled together. It doesn't have a clearly defined shipping charge. If you did 1 cent and it's $50 shipping, just a big item, maybe calculated, maybe you have it fixed price, then you have defined your shipping, and you do not have to return that $50, provided that it's not an INAD where you screwed up. Now, of course, that's your judgment. And that's kind of where eBay gets kind of weird, because some people just don't click that little tag, that toggle when you're using the refund tool, and you're supposed to if it's your fault. But if it's just a buyer saying, hey, I didn't want it, it does not, like the 2 returns I had today, well, they're not getting that shipping back. And if I had included that in the price of the item, like some sellers do, then I'd be on the hook for all of it. So that's the way I look at it. And, while returns don't happen all that often, they tend to happen in waves. So I got 2 today. Someone said they happen in threes. Please, I don't want another one, but it is what it is. That means I'm making sales. Perfectly Blessed says, wow, so many comments have started 2 minutes ago. LOL. Yeah, a lot of people, thankfully, they participate in this live stream, and you guys, like I said, make this program what it is, with or without Jenna being here. You guys are really the stars of the show. And so you guys always seem to show up not only at 3 p.m., but really sometimes, many times beforehand. Bonnie Brink says, AKA Gardening Sis, made a great buy on GI Joes, but cleaning the big items with Q-tips is time consuming. LOL. Yeah, that's part of the thing. You could sell these items just with the filth and grime that you find it with. But I tend to find that in most cases, the better you present your item, and that is cleaning your stuff before you actually put it up for sale, the more presentable it is and the more activity that item is going to get. Now, if you have something that's an antique or very vintage, I would recommend not doing that, because that's part of the um, allure of that item, is that it is kind of old and worn down, that type of thing. Um, just from what I understand, I don't sell a whole lot of vintage, but the stuff that I've read, or antiques, the stuff that I read, you really just want to list it as you find it. Backyard Mowing says something has been up last few days for sure. Look, if eBay's not allowing us to log in properly, I mean, back and forth between, heck, I'll even take a quiz on how many mountains and how many buses that I'm able to find. Okay. I haven't seen that lately. It looks like they've turned that off right now, that double authentication BS that they make us go through. But I'll be glad to identify, uh, a light signal, just so I can get into my account. But it's not even letting me do that. It's basically, I go in and click the username because I have my password saved. So I go in, I click that, it populates it. And then I go to the password, I go find it again, I populate it, and it logs me right back into the account that I just logged out of. If you have that kind of thing going on, if you have labels that are showing late, even though you shipped them to the eBay system, if you have other situations like it was putting me in the beginners or the, I guess if you don't have a store or if you're a beginner, they give you a different looking lister. It put me in a different lister with an error message saying that I'm a business account and I need to not use it. Well, I didn't ask to use it. It gave me that lister. I finished the listing, launched the listing. Okay. But there's stuff going on in the background. I don't know what eBay is trying to do here. Maybe if someone has some inside information, but it's affecting a lot of things. Now, we can get mad. We can say, you know what, I'm going to quit. I mean, I see there's too much potential on eBay to make money to think that way, in my opinion. We can allow it to, let it wreck our day. But at the end of the day, I just assume to just get out there and just keep listing and do the things that I can control and just let the chips fall where they may. Let's see. We got Biff is in the house. Biff Boffo says, I messaged eBay for Business just to see what they would say about these problems, and they said there are no problems. I don't know. eBay doesn't communicate well with us, and I don't know internally how they operate, but I'm willing to bet they just don't communicate well with their employees. And in the call center industry, you're on the front lines. Those are the people you need to communicate with. So when we had a situation on the railroad and that people we knew were going to call in about, we put the communications out so that people weren't like left holding their hands up in the air, looking like, it's embarrassing when you have to. And I've been in that situation before where you are being asked, what's going on, and you can't answer it, but you're representing that company. You're just eBay's putting their representatives in a bad situation when they can't even give us basic information. Why even be there if you can't, this idea that, someone's going to answer the phone and give out basic information, but anything above and beyond basic information, how about calling the appropriate department to try to help us and advocate on our behalf so that we can rest a little easy? They're supposed to be there to kind of help the experience, the selling experience, and for some buyers, the buying experience. And there's just a lack of even wanting to try to find out from some of these reps. Prosser says maybe you should make a video hyping eBay up and see if they favor you and send you more sales worth the experiment. I put an eBay video out that basically said eBay loves you. Okay, that was like 3 months ago, and maybe I think that kind of corresponds when I started doing well. But I really think that we could put a lot of it on eBay, and maybe there's some troll in the back room that really, has the voodoo doll and just pokes me, who knows? And maybe that's going on. But in all truth and reality, we are the ones that drive our own success. And I'm a firm believer that, regardless of how eBay feels about a particular seller or YouTuber, I really think that they don't have a whole lot to do with it. But the harassment is still there. And I get constant messages where many people I know don't ever get anything like that. But here I am within 6 months is getting just pounded with messages and threats from eBay that they're going to take action if I continue to do what anyone else has been doing. Cornhusker Picker says, finally cut alive. Glitches since the dawn of time. Every time they tinker with stuff, especially during spring fall updates. Yeah, it's one of those things with programming. If you fix or add a feature, you tend to break other stuff because it's all coding, right? So you have to go and correct the coding so that there's not a missing link here or there. Things get broken when you start adding or changing features. But that's why they shouldn't do this as a live. It's like we're beta testers. Okay. We are simply beta testers right now. And whenever you're adding a new version of a program, you should do that. Let's say, offer some sellers a 10% discount for being on the beta team so that whenever you roll out something new, they get the new version of that website, full of possible errors. And as part of their paying, you're giving them a 10% discount on fees. And then when everything's all ironed out, usually a month or two later of solid beta testing, you have everything fixed and then you roll out the change for everyone. But instead of that, it just seems, I'm not in the background, I really don't know what's going on, but it just seems from what I've seen here that eBay is treating us all as beta testers, and we have to deal with it. Whispering Hill Farm says, John, where did you purchase your neon sign behind you? Want to get one that says not tonight, dear. Go to Etsy. That's where Jenna got mine. She picked this up a couple years ago for my Christmas gift. And they're not cheap. They're like $300 and something. So it's something that, I would certainly recommend. I've actually checked some of these out on auction. And there's some, just married, or there's some other sayings too. But maybe if I find the right saying, I might get another one, but I'm not going to spend $300 something for it. Truman says, well, I thought I picked a bad day to quit sniffing glue on the login glitch. Yeah, it's like what? No, I really thought, I was like, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep selecting the same account that I just signed out of? And then, when you check yourself and you're not in autopilot mode and you're doing it step by step, and then you're like, wait, what's going on here? And you have to do it like 3 or 4 times before it'll finally work. Darren Adams says, ho all. So ho all to you too. Dean Funderburk says, let's get Elon Musk to open a mailing service to help us eBayers. I think he's out of cash. I don't know. He just put up a rocket. It exploded, but I think that was part of the plan anyway. They just want to see how high they can get it, or if they can get it to like phase 2 or something. But yeah, I think he's got his hands tied with Twitter right now. John Doe says USPS employees get outstanding benefits, great lifetime health care and retirement pay. They can deal with delivering packages or find new jobs. And you know what? There's some great carriers out there, and there's some that suck. And unfortunately, I encounter both. I encounter probably one of the best carriers that I've ever dealt with. Every 2 weeks, he'll come to the door and fill in for my main carrier. And then there's my main carrier who's she does not want to be bothered. She told me, she came to the door and I had packages for her, and that's good, right? But she said, hey, we need you to check your mail because, they put the key in the box, and the packages that are smaller, on the smaller side, they'll put in the bottom box where you have to use that key to get it out. So I said, well, we just checked the mail last night. I said, we didn't have anything like that. Now I'm starting to worry that, Jenna checked the mail. She may have taken that key and just, it was batched up with the other junk mail, and she might have just put it on the counter or lost it. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go out there, or maybe she left the key in the box after taking the mail out. So my mailbox is like halfway down the street where the community box is in this HOA. And so halfway after putting my shoes on, getting out there, she's at the box, and halfway there, she's like, "Oh no, you don't have any mail, and there's no packages in the box." So what were you saying that? Why did you come to the door and tell me that? And I'll also ask her, I'll say, "Hey, I need some of the bags." See the bag over my shoulder here? That's some of the bags the guy brought today. But I'll ask her about some of those big bags so I can just put it all in a bag and boom, send it off, or put it outside when I'm doing the lives. And she's like, "I don't know. I'll see what I can find." And she'll show up with like one bag. She'll show up with like maybe two. This guy, I haven't even asked him for anything. This carrier that subs for her came to the door and to pick up the items, and he had two big bags full of bags. And I'm just like, go figure, why can't we get carriers like that? And why can't the bad carriers, do something different? I think, for me, they get all those good benefits. They do get good benefits. It's a union job, and there's other people with less seniority, at least, that would love to have those positions, I think. Keena's in the house. Thanks for being here today. That stranger says, the odd thing I noticed last week was the window to print shipping label took forever to connect with the spinning circle, but today it has been normal. Yeah, we get spinning circles all the time. I have to refresh, but I don't really count that as a glitch. I mean, I'm wondering sometimes if that's just my internet or something going funny. So I don't tend to blame that on eBay because I can't really prove it. Wanda says some glitches seem to be purposeful. The condition box is gone. There are buttons to click to see specifics and description. I recall before we had to make extra clicks that failed. Why again? I remember seeing, I think it was Auction Professor or something like that was talking about that happening. Because I don't buy too much or source too much beyond just looking up the comps. I don't go very deep into the listing to look for that kind of information. I haven't noticed that. I do more of my research on the PC. Brian H says, I just had an eBay glitch when I tried to reply with offer to a buyer. When I submitted it, I got an error code. I called eBay and they weren't able to fix it. It makes you wonder. We talk about the glitches that we see. As sellers, we can say, I saw this happen, I saw that happen. But unless you're buying on the site, how many people have been turned away, on a daily basis, site-wide, because of glitches that affect buyers that we never really hear about, right? There isn't really, I don't think, a channel where eBay buyers get together and kind of talk about their experiences on eBay. I mean, you have the community forums, I suppose, but buyers tend not to even talk about stuff like that. They only talk about stuff that they're currently dealing with, like a bad seller, that type of thing. So I wonder how many buyers out there are currently dealing with glitch issues that are preventing them from buying our stuff. Let's see. Keena says, you sporting the R&B look today. No hat. No, it has nothing to do with that. I'm going, like I said, I'm going out to Fremont, meeting up with hopefully some of you guys. And, you guys can see the hat version of me anytime on this channel. I figure that if I'm going to get out here and meet you guys, that I'm going to at least try to look halfway presentable. Mike says, meeting at Container Park at 8. But Mike, I hope we can meet before that, Archie, to go maybe grab some dinner, because that's my plan. I want to go eat something before we go to Container Park, if that's where we're meeting up at. Tommy says, I ship as much as possible on every trip. Tax incentives. I go to Goodwill and get suitcases or UPS it back. Okay. So, of course, you can write that off towards the cost of your goods, because that is the cost of getting it back to you. I just kind of wonder you got to really get a good deal on stuff. It sounds like Mike got a good deal at the bins, but you got to really get a good deal on stuff to have to foot the cost of shipping that thing back, or those things back 3,000 miles. Bearded Poketuber says, I've seen a boost in international sales the last week too. And I just assumed it was because the new global shipping is cheaper than it used to be. Maybe I'm getting punished because I turned mine off. So maybe I need to go back in and turn that on. I don't know. I'm going to keep doing what I can. I have the control of changing that. So if that's an experiment I want to do, and I guess I will, even though I'm kind of irritated with eBay and their international shipping program right now. I may just turn that back on and see what happens. Sammy Hall says, over in the UK, I get a lot of US at the top of my search. So it's bass backwards. Unfortunately, eBay is something's wrong. That's not intentional. Trust me. They are not that excited about getting your items in front of an international audience at the expense of the domestic sellers. So something else is going on. I'm sure of it. Picky Ricky says another channel put out a couple of videos about this week's glitches in global shipping. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Mike says, if I can buy a suitcase at a yard sale, I'll check it on the plane. My flight allows an extra check bag for 35 bucks. I actually had, and I wouldn't have known to keep it, but I actually had a Samsonite big hard-shelled suitcase that I picked up with a bunch of shoes to transport them home. This is when I bought some of the shoes last year. Had I known, I would have held on to it for you. But I'm sure you're going to be able to find that at a yard sale really cheap. Hopefully we go tomorrow and find something. Leonard Kasakowski says, hi from New Hampshire. Question about USPS first class mail. What are they doing with package weight is less than a pound? Do quite a bit, just under 16 ounce. So from what I understand and the information that they put out, first class is going to be a service that's up to 70 pounds. So it's still going to include the smaller items under a pound, and they're upping the fees on these labels by 5.4%. So it's another increase from the increase that we saw in January. So you're just going to need to make sure, if you're offering free shipping, just be careful that your item isn't priced too low to where after your cost of goods and eBay fees and your shipping label, you're making nothing. That's why, like on an item like I tried to sell that shirt, basically I'm selling it for $5 plus. It's like, that's probably what they thought they're getting it for $5. And then they went in and saw that they have to pay like $5.99 or $6.99 shipping, whatever it was. They wanted to cancel. I'm certain of that, but I'm certainly not going to make it to where I make nothing on the shirt. So it's up to you on your business model, what you want to do. But, if you have a calculated or fixed rate that covers the exact or more cost of the shipping label, you're never going to go wrong. Callie Deb says, hi, John and everyone. Thanks for being here. Tommy says, web interpret lists on other sites like it's local. Also, eBay gives the option to list on eBay UK for extra fee. Shows local. You're absolutely right. I was selling those military badges. I had a bunch of UK ones, and I selected the option. I had to pay 50 cents more per listing. Was it 50 cents? No, 25 cents more per listing just to get my items promoted within the UK search. And I sold a lot of patches that way. Jerry Johnson says they're from Nebraska. So thanks for being here, Jerry. Jeff's in the house. Greetings, John and folks. Thanks for being here. We got Randall Lee says, JPN, if probably meant John, if the A's move to Las Vegas, are you going to become an A's fan? Never in my life. It's an awesome thing if the A's move here, because that means that for at least a half dozen to 10 times a year, I'll have an opportunity to see my Angels play. So always be an Angels fan. That's me. That's my identity. That and the Raiders. And it is what it is. Live or die, good or bad. That's who I support. Let's see. Nostalgic Pod Blast says, greetings from Atlanta, Georgia, my fellow eBay sellers. Thanks for being here. Awesome. We got Ping G in the house. Thank you for being here, Ping. Joe Childress says, I'm having the same shipping glitches you mentioned in the last video. I'm ignoring, but I have other weird ones too. Lots to ignore. Yeah, just think of it as Weird Uncle Joe. And he came to the family reunion drunk this year, and he just won't stop talking. I have friends that I have dealt with in my life that are kind of like that. And at some point, you just have to put your blinders on and just look forward to the things that you can deal with, and let Uncle Joe just keep rambling, and maybe he'll go away and bug someone else. Unfortunately, and it's a lot of times these glitches don't affect everyone entirely. Some people say, hey, I haven't seen these glitches, and other people are dealing with it. So hopefully Uncle Joe just moves on, and you can mess with someone else's account for a while. Let's see. RKMW, it just got my like button sale. Thanks, John. And you know the reason why I didn't get, you know why I got a cancellation request on this stupid sale that I did? I accepted the offer on because it was a fraudulent sale because I didn't hit my like button. Even after the sale came through, I didn't hit my like button. So that's what happened. I got a cancellation. So that stinks. Bobbles Blings and Needful Things says, yeah, I'm throwing anything at the wall to sell. Don't give a crap. Just everything praying for a sale. Well, if you're sitting on the stuff, then you certainly should get it listed. I mean, you have it. What's the alternative? You're going to list it at a yard sale. So even though you may have made some bad buys, I've got a couple of bins full of borderline items, like all those shoes. I think shoes are starting to slow down a little bit. Maybe Tommy will correct me, but at least my shoes are. Now, I say that only because I haven't sold a whole lot of shoes except for yesterday. What's weird is I put the video out on Wednesday, and I was talking about, the things that weren't selling, and I was panning over to my shoes. I am convinced that I have a couple of you awesome viewers out there that have had decided to look at my store and bought some shoes from me, because it's just too much of a coincidence. Short of the sales on Thursday, the shoe sales on Thursday, I wasn't getting a lot of shoe sales, maybe a pair here and pair there, many pairs more on Poshmark than on eBay. Bobbles and Bling says people are just not buying jewelry, and Mother's Day sales are normally happening now. Zilch, I'm actually digging out shoes and clothes. Get them up. I mean, I got to tell you that it's just going to, as we get into summer, things are going to get a little slower. That's just what happens historically. It has nothing to do with the economy. Has everything to do with, historical data. And historically, in most categories, not all, in most categories, sales tend to slow down, I'd say sometime June, into June or into July 4th weekend, and continue to be slow until the end of August, from my experience. The Nostalgic Pod Blast says, I miss eBay bucks. That was a great quarterly rewards program that spawned sales. Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about that. I don't know. I don't believe eBay gave us any stats to see, before or after, how our sales did, or even during that program, how our sales were being improved. So I can't really speak to that. Backyard Mowing said Amazon returns are insane. They are. And just people think that, because Amazon, as soon as the item is actually scanned in the mail, they already start the refund process. There's no inspecting before you process a refund. Life of Dina Fierce says, I feel you got one in return today, and it's item too big. I've got 2 returns that I have, and they're fairly large items. And the buyer in both cases were honest, and they said that they one didn't need it, one didn't like it. So they're on the hook for that return label. William Reichert says, where did the print packing slip go to? It disappeared. From what I understand, it's a situation now where you have to run the packing slip after you've run the label. And some people are saying, well, that doesn't make sense because I've already sealed my box. And so if I already run my label, then I have to open up my package to put the packing slip. But I've never dealt with packing slips. Mainly, I mean, you got people who don't want it anyway. But to me, it's just an extra piece of paper, an extra piece of the process that I have to deal with. And I don't get any negatives or any problems because I don't. So I don't deal with packing slips. Let's see. Picky Ricky says you'll be blocking that time waster buyer later. They deserve blocking. Yeah, I just think that's sketchy. I can get it. Look, maybe eBay shows a lower priced item to someone else, but this is a Barry Manilow concert shirt. I doubt there's many that were any lower than what I had it selling for. And it was probably they wanted to spend $5 total, and didn't read that this did include the cost of shipping, and they decided they wanted to cancel. I'm willing to bet that. Prosser says, hey, John, check that late you got, as some sellers been reporting they're getting a ding for lates from last year just showing up now on their account. Well, I'm certainly going to check. Keep an eye on my, you can check on your seller health in the dashboard, and you can go down just to see what your lates are. I think my lates are less than 1% anyway. So, all is well. If it flips, it ships. eBay is holding funds for a no refund policy. That's interesting. I didn't know. I thought it was based on your account status. But, you know, I'm a firm. The way I feel about no refund policy, it's telling something. It's telling a story about your item. It's telling the buyer that I mean, you don't have confidence in it that they're going to want to keep it, and it might be telling eBay that there could be something not on the up and up about that item. I mean, you got to think about it. For many of us sellers, me included, me especially, we get in many cases we get treated as guilty before we've done anything wrong. And that's just a fact. That's not me complaining. That's just my experience. Daniel Lesage says, hi from Daniel with Cadaddle's distribution in Baton Rouge. By the way, Jenna did great last week, but I know that you already know that, right? Yeah, she did great. I was able to hear her. I was driving in through the town of Parker, and we did stop at that Walmart where I get the reception. Buddy went inside the store to get some things, and I just kind of hung out and was watching the live. We stopped to get something to eat, and as we were leaving town, the signal started to go. So, you know, and not a great haircut, not at all. But thank you. It isn't a haircut that I was talking about. USPS bags inside, not outside. Inside, not outside. Well, I have my carrier came before the video, so I didn't have to worry about the USPS bags. But if you're talking about the USPS bags in here, no, that's not it either. Uh-oh. We got a winner. Different chair. You guys notice I picked this chair up through liquidation. It was brand new, factory sealed. I got it for like $70. And this is one of those, it's from Amazon Basics. It has the faux leather. Very easy to set up, but it's for like big and tall. I didn't realize it, but man, this thing is wide. It gives, I told Jenna, I said, now I can gain some weight. I can put on a lot of weight in this chair and it'll support me up to 500 pounds. And it's been very comfortable. I can kind of lean back. The other one, I got to tell you, I was rocking and rolling left and right. I flipped the thing upside down and noticed that the bar, maybe it's the plopping of sitting in the chair. I don't know what it is, but the bar, it looks straight, but it was wobbly. So maybe I just, put too much damage on that chair. Large item pickup was Wednesday or Thursday, and it's gone now. So this is what we have. So Biff, reach out to me at flippingainteasy2020@gmail.com. Want your address information, and I will send this box of goodies out to you on my dime. I'm happy to do it. So Biff got it right. Nostalgic Pod Blast says, bring back eBay bucks. Rewards programs have always been something that I think works. Like restaurants or fast food or different places. I really think reward programs work. But again, eBay has been losing sellers, losing buyers. And when you lose sellers and buyers, you're losing money, and you just aren't in the position to give anything away for free, like rewards bucks. So hopefully they bring it back at some point, but it ain't going to happen until they start bringing their number of buyer and sellers back up and not down. The sign is working. No, it's working. It's the cord is still messed up, but it's in a spot where it's working. So that might be different. I shaved. You guys are funny. But Roman would have been in second place. He just got there a little late. I can't believe you guys didn't, see the chair sooner. You don't have that gray thing. It was also making me look like I had a mullet. And I know some people were complaining about that too. So Tommy says, showing your true colors tonight since Jenna's gone purple. You know what? I like this to change the light. I know she totally whitewashed everything by turning everything white last week. So we'll learn from that one. John M., I must be late. Hi, John. What's a like sale? A like sale? Well, I mean, in my opinion, if you hit the like button, you're going to get a sale in the next 24 hours. But I don't know. I think Dean had one. Cha-ching. Yep, Mark, you had it right, but you're the third one to get, or fourth one to get it. It is the chair that, and this is so much more comfortable than the other chair. Nostalgic Pod Blast says, why does eBay ding my credit card for international shipping instead of deducting from the payout deposit as they do with domestic deals? From my experience, because now I'm on weekly deposits on Tuesday, they deposit all my money to my bank, and then they hit me for the the UPS charges, at least the UPS charges that are still residual. I'm hopeful that in the next week or so, I won't have those UPS charges, because now I'm dealing with that situation with FedEx. So they have my card directly. I got to tell you guys, I'm saving quite a bit of money on labels through FedEx. And, I don't have any affiliate marketing thing to click down below. Not trying to sell you guys on anything, but look, FedEx came to me and we had that meeting, and the other rep who's wanted to come on here, he just doesn't want to get beat up. But, he came to me and said, look, we can get you set up with some very steep discounts, change the DIM system so that there's a certain calculation that calculates DIM. They changed those numbers for me. So I can go on to eBay, get the 40% off of eBay labels with FedEx. And I'm basically looking at a much higher rate through eBay, even utilizing similar discounts, because it's using a different DIM system. So that's the dimension system that UPS and FedEx uses. And it's all because I had a conversation, negotiated that with, this rep. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy. Paying $20 a week is nothing compared to what I'm saving weekly on these labels. And to have someone pick up my stuff, and they're like clockwork. They come between 2 and 3 o'clock, sometimes a little bit after 3, but they have a window of like 3 hours from 2 to 5 to come, and they haven't missed it yet. Let's see. Shoal Davis says, maybe it's not a glitch. Maybe eBay has been hacked. Login issues here too on the app. Yeah, that would make sense. And it would also make sense that they wouldn't come out. How many times have you heard of a hacking situation through a company and you don't hear that it happened for like months after the fact? I mean, it's possible. Let's hope that's not the case, because, many of us have our checking accounts and stuff, on. And with all this stuff happening between Russia, Ukraine, China, there's all these things, hacking things that are happening behind the scenes that we're not even made aware of. I just asked that one here. Okay, because I sent so says, I've been getting the message I have orders to ship, but when I go to look, the orders are already shipped. Called eBay last week and still not fixed. Seems like others are experiencing the same. Yes, and you can go in and add the tracking. Go to the labels, add the tracking, and which is what I initially did, and it's still pulling that stuff. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Tommy says, hi, Roman. Sorry it's hard to see you with all the questions that can be answered on Google or calling eBay instead of spamming chat. It's all right. I like the questions. I think sometimes when you try to look up information on Google or that type of thing, you don't always get maybe an answer that's tailored to your situation. So if you explain, here's what I'm dealing with, if you're looking on Google, that type of thing, you may not get an answer that feels right. There's, to me, I've always said this, there's not a bad question, because if you're willing to ask it, that means you just don't know or not comfortable with the information you've been given so far. Nostalgic says the tax refund buying bump is about over. I think so. Because most people who are due refunds are going to get that tax return in the mail as soon as possible. Most people who owe, like I had to, will wait until the last possible minute. That's just the way I roll. So John Doe says, I had my first eBay glitch last week listing templates. I contacted them about it and they fixed it within 5 days. Tommy says, John, can you call eBay for me and ask them a few questions? Thanks. I will ask them. Tommy sent me. He wants to know, why are his shoes selling for so much more than mine? That's what I'm going to ask them. John says, when you have a problem or problems with eBay, just think a day of golf, and then just solve the problem and move on. And that's what I'm doing on Sunday. I'm going to go to a place called Reflection Bay. It's the southeastern side over by Henderson in Vegas, on Lake Las Vegas. And it is it's a beautiful golf course, and I'm just gonna just soak it all in and allow eBay to do what it does while I'm gone. Hopefully that's making sales. So we'll just see. Process says 128 watching here, and eBay said your message is just a bulk rollout. Most of the people here are eBay sellers. Did they get the same email? I bet not. I'm willing to bet they didn't. I'm willing to bet that there's many people watching right now that handle the refund process. Look, if eBay is going to handle me or you by the book, right? If they're going to hold you accountable for the things you do when you interact with your buyer, I'm going to hold these buyers accountable when they don't follow the process. And if they keep my charger from an item that I send them, if they keep the original packaging from an item that I send them, if they make my item anywhere from new to used by the time I get it back, you better believe I'm using the refund tool. And that's per eBay policy. And it doesn't say anywhere in eBay policy, you can use the refund tool 10 times per quarter. And even if that was the case, I ain't breaking that rule. I haven't used it that much. I may use the refund tool once or twice a month. That's it. And for them to come at me, and I'm sure, like you said, there's probably other people watching this right now that haven't seen anything like that may use it as much as me, or if not, maybe more. Something's not right. Someone asked, did we lose John? Hopefully I haven't been talking to myself for half an hour, because you guys can't see me, but all's good. Brian H says, have you been to the Neon Sign Museum in Vegas? Really cool. I have not. We're going to be going to Container Park tonight. That's kind of cool. They have like a little grasshopper out there that plays music and shoots fire. Biff says, I've just noticed 99% of my listings were bumped out of the default shipping business policy. Usually it's the reverse, with only a handful of listings getting a new weird policy. That's very interesting, but I haven't dug that deep to see what's changed on my account, so maybe I'll just have to do that. Eyes Wide Open says, listed a few things this afternoon, got confirmation from eBay that they're listed, but none of them show up in a search, not by title or eBay item number. Now, I know that as soon as you list new items, it does take about 10 minutes for those items to pop up. Even if you're searching within your own store to find it, to maybe you listed an item and just said, oh, I forgot to do this to the listing or add this to the listing. You have to wait a few minutes for it to actually pop up to get it. That's what I've seen. Andy says, well, there goes my Starlink. Hopefully there's no problem with this this live stream. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. That stranger says, I also have an item shipped and delivered over a week ago that the app is telling me to ship, but the PC is fine. I don't have a ding for it so far, but keep an eye on it. And it might be worth the phone call to Trust and Safety, or not Trust and Safety, to the dispute department to get your defects removed if it gives you that, if it puts you over 3%. Not to really worry if it's under 3%, but over 3%, it can hurt your account. Royal says, love or hate variation listings. I know liquidation doesn't normally fit, but for stuff that does, I'm torn between wanting to sell multiples together versus more listings having more visibility. If it's like an issue where you have, like, I have all these shirts and they're different sizes, you probably want to have a variation listing. Maybe you have this item and it comes in 5 different colors. Again, I would go with the variation listing. That's just me. I think variation listings get a little bit more play in the algorithm. And that's just a hunch. I have no way to prove that. Check your own listings, John. Your buyers are seeing these glitches. I definitely will, because there's got to be some reason why, I'm sitting here with great sales this week, haven't had a pause in listing the same kind of items, and I have not a single sale today, and that's not happened all month. So we'll see. Ken Shijanki says, I hate that continue button bump on the chat when you're done trying to get a call back that tricks you into chatting. Yeah, I just type in, have someone call me in the chat, and then they give you the option to have someone call you. Cornhusker Picker says, 28 years at USPS and counting. Benefits have dropped a lot. Depends on when you've been hired. Everyone loves me on my route. It is USPS, United States Postal Service. Young people have bad work ethic. I think so. But this lady isn't young. She's probably like in her 40s. So I would say she probably has at least 10 years of seniority with the post office. But I've worked in a union shop. And unfortunately, when you have a union shop and you have plenty of union protection, that tells people, look, they get this mindset of it ain't my job, right? So my job is delivering letters and packages. It ain't my job to give you bags. It ain't my job to do all these things to help you as a common courtesy. And unfortunately, that's the mindset that my carrier has. Now, someone put a really, I think, a really weird comment on a video saying that they think my carrier watches my channel. I doubt it seriously. Um, I highly 100% doubt it, but I thought that was kind of funny and laughable. Let's see here. Want to get some more here. The Monster Loon says the other day I sold an item I listed 2 years ago. My shipping charge was more than enough when I listed it, but I ended up paying a few cents more for the label when it sold. You know what? It's funny. I sold that. If you watch the video that I put out on Wednesday, I sold that stupid foot spa. I mean, it's like brand new condition sitting in the box. And those things, it had to be someone watching the show. It said, oh, let's see what I can get for that foot spa. But I sold that foot spa. Jason Byers Official says the glitches from Spring Seller Update will be worked out and working normally again right around the summer slowdown. Then it'll be fall update time with more glitches just in time for Q4. Yes, that's exactly it. And I'm willing to bet, and I'm a betting guy. I'm not going to bet anyone because I just don't bet my viewers. But just in theory, I'm willing to bet that let's say in Q4 they won't have the issue fix where you have an offer from Watcher, an offer from Watcher, and you're getting an instant payment. Willing to bet that's not going to be resolved. Lucky Fine says Raiders. Yes. And I could say it the other way, Raiders, which is what they say at the stadium, but I'm sure that would annoy some of you non-Raider fans, so I'll leave that alone. Let's see what I got here. Who has some other questions? Midnight Merchant says, happy Friday. I finally got my top-rated seller rating. It took almost a year to get back, all because I sent an item in an envelope with a postage stamp without tracking. Well, lesson learned, right? So we know not to do that again. But yeah, always have tracking. That's the best bet because, even if an item shows up as delivered, your people are going to, if they don't get the item, maybe they're just trying to get a free item on you. I don't know. But there's people that are going to claim they didn't get it, like I did last week, and they file the item not received case. You got to go back in and put the tracking number in. And if you don't have that tracking number to go back and put in, then the buyer is going to win that case. So protect yourself with that. Picky Ricky says, yeah, it got me a live sale. Awesome. I don't know what that's like. I mean, it's been so long. It's been like 24 hours since I got a live sale. The Monster Loon says, I didn't get a sale during the live, but I hit the like and got a positive feedback. So awesome. Positive feedback. Anything that happens positive to your account is always good. John Doe says, every time I buy from Amazon, it's a gamble on if their employees will package it well. Got some new books today, and they were just thrown in a big box, debating if I should return them. If they don't meet your needs, if you're reselling them at different condition, I certainly would consider it. Thanks for answering my questions. Yeah, you bet. That's what we're here for. Lynn Ann says, husband is sorting CDs and listening to you. Just hit the like button. Awesome. Yeah, CDs and media can be fun. I know there's a lot of people enjoy going through them. I got this stack. I don't think you can see. Maybe you can, or I'm adjusting the wrong way. I got like this stack of old albums. Now, I don't have any, what was his name? What was Tommy's favorite artist that he was looking for, that album? I don't have any of the Jim Neighbors albums, but these are really old. We're talking, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and all kinds of different stuff. And sometimes it's kind of fun just going through them because I like music, and just kind of, if I get an 80s or 70s album, I'm like, oh, I remember this song. I didn't know these people sang it, that kind of thing. But yeah, so it can definitely be fun going through all those CDs and stuff. Vintage Vonnie says, number 100. Hello, all. Well, thanks for being here. Vintage Vonnie, Vaughn. Don't know how to pronounce that. But what is new, right? Hooked on phonics YouTube style is what I need. Jeff Zenick says the number of buyers on eBay won't go up. Younger new buyers are gravitating to other platforms as a cultural thing, or I could be wrong. I don't know. I think you're right. And you can blame that on eBay. eBay doesn't do a good job of marketing eBay to younger buyers. Let's hang our hats on car parts, eBay Motors. Let's hang our hats on sneakers, which I guess you can say some younger viewers would be interested in. But let's hang our hats on baseball cards and, what else is it? Watches. How about finding ways to get younger viewers interested in buying? I mean, you got younger viewers who right now want vintage stuff. They want older clothing. And where else are you going to? I mean, yeah, you got like Grail and places like that, I think, that you can find this stuff. But there's plenty of it on eBay. I think it'd be a great way to market eBay to younger, potential buyers. Sammy says, hit the like button, peoples. Yes, I appreciate that. I hope you guys are getting some value out of this conversation. And there's a lot of good comments here to go through. Scream NRC says, wow, it worked. Just got a sale, small one, but money is money. Hey, a sale is a sale. It's that first sale that leads to the second sale. You can't get the second sale without the first sale. And I'm here waiting for the first sale because the first one got canceled. Go figure. But I'm not gonna fret. I'm just kind of telling you guys where I'm at. It's more comical to me than anything else because eventually the sales are going to come. I don't know what's going on right now with eBay, and maybe I guess some theorize that I might be on a bad server. Who knows? Maybe they took that offline. Tommy says, I take 50% off on about 40% of returns. No message yet. Yeah, isn't that great? And I could see, someone buying your shoe, it's brand new. They go out for a test run and maybe they just bought the wrong size. Maybe it's little small, little big. They don't like it. Maybe it's not wide enough. And then they want to open a return. And now it's changed the entire condition of the shoe. It's no longer a new shoe. It's now a used shoe, and it is more used than it was before. And so I can definitely see you doing that. But that's just it. There's something going on in the back room. They've got this account flagged, and anything that I do or don't do, they are on me. And knock on particle board, I wouldn't doubt at some point here they're going to just totally shut me down because I have my theories, but it isn't because I'm being treated the same as other sellers. I'll tell you that. Let's see. Jovial Juggler says, happy National Keep Off the Grass Day. And I guess you're going to say happy Keep Off the Grass Day and National Surprise Drug Test Day. Co-inky dink a day after 420. Now, what is that? Co-inky dink a day. Interesting. But surprise drug test day. But if it's a known day, it's not a surprise anymore, is it? Just maybe just a random thought. I'm just a reseller says, I had glitch issues with eBay all morning long or all month long. I couldn't list for almost 7 days. They had to place a ticket to get it fixed. Well, I don't think I'm going to do that. I told you guys I'm not going to call eBay when there's an issue or glitches, and I'm just going to keep listing and do what's in my power. Sammy Hall says, I want to go to the Haunted Museum in Vegas. I've been by there. I haven't gone. There's a lot of cool little things that you can do out here in Vegas, especially if you don't gamble. One thing I like is if you guys like the movie Saw, they have an excellent escape room. Went one time. I plan on going again only because my son and I went, and they put you in a group of 10 people, so that 8 other people. Unfortunately, the other 8 were deaf, and this is not a joke. They were deaf. And when you're in an escape room, you kind of have to communicate to kind of get out together as a team. And it just didn't work that way. It didn't work really well. But it's much like the movie. And I thought it was something I'd like to try again. But they have all kinds of pretty cool things here in Vegas. C. Payton says, sometimes I feel like my items are hiding until I promote. Nobody is viewing any of them, only one. It could be. You got to think more and more people are promoting, And of course, I'd say most people are promoting within the 2% level still. And if most people are promoting and you're not, and there's like 100 items up for sale, where do you think your item's going to be? Is it going to be on page 1 or page 2? It's probably going to be on page 2. So um, I would look, I know the mindset. Don't want to give eBay any more money than I have to. I get it. But is it worth spending an extra 5% on fees to get stuff moved? I think so. That's why if you source where you have room, those kind of things aren't going to, I don't care if eBay takes an extra 5% because that's helping me move my stuff. Jeff Zenick, slip your bad mail carrier 20. I want to, but I mean, it feels weird. I mean, she hasn't, slip her for what? Is it like a bribe? You go and okay, when you go to eat at a restaurant, do you slip your waitress a 20 in hopes that she'll give you good service, or do you wait for the service to actually happen before you slip that 20? Yeah, I just I don't believe in that. And if she's truly lazy, she's probably going to just be like, okay, well, I really don't have to do anything to get anything from these people. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and it ain't going to make a bit of difference. They're going to keep hooking me up anyway. So definitely not down with that. Joe Childress says, I've been blessed with an amazing postal carrier. In fact, there's only been one carrier I've had an issue with. Thankfully, she quit. While she was here, I made it to a point to go to the post office. You know what? I had a carrier who gave Jenna her cell phone number and said, if there's any issues, text me. That's cool, right? Busy Girl says, good for you. Finally, bye-bye foot spa. LOL. Well, someone will enjoy it. Foot spas are fun. They, especially if you're on your feet all day, I can just imagine that's in my mind, it's probably worth more than the $15 that it sold for, but plus shipping. But, I had to get rid of it. Joe says, I give my carrier snacks and bottles of water occasionally. Yeah, I can see doing that in the summer when it's hot, for sure, when it gets really hot out here. Ed's in the house. Glad to see you, Ed. Hey, John. Sorry I haven't been on the lives lately, but thankfully everything is back to normal. I can focus on reselling again. Well, good. When you're dealing with like family and health and other things that pop up in life, it can be a real distraction to the point where you're like, what's the point? I mean, I've got all this stuff going on. I'm not making sales and I just don't feel like listing, but that's why you got to really love what you do. I mean, it's to me, if I'm getting no sales, it pushes me that much harder. And then the opposite, if I'm getting sales, I'm like, wow, I made 700 a day. How can we get to 1,000? So I don't know. It just depends on where you're at, but distractions can certainly take away that drive. Joe gave her carrier a generous cash card. Awesome. LSGS Rob says, what's up, Johnny? Just made it. How's everything going? How's sales? Well, if you just made it, you know that I'm getting shut out today. It's like a bad Angels game. Getting shut out, and I'm hoping that'll turn around. So we'll see what happens here. Cornhusker Picker says, can't remember. I think Tommy liked Hanson or Dave Matthews Band. No, it was, what's his name, yo? I just said it. Because I wasn't a fan, and I know who it was, but I was never a fan. I wouldn't have it. And I said it earlier. So if you remember, then just type that in. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of old artists. So I don't even really know what the Dave Matthews Band actually ever sung, to be honest with you. The Nostalgic Pod Blast is sold and was paid a big $72 for a comic book while we were live. Big money. That's awesome. Heck, when you get a hit like that, that's good. That's always good. Damian D says, customer haggled with me back and forward about an hour. Once we agreed on a price, he said, never mind, too high with taxes, wasted my time. Doesn't that make you crazy? These people, I tell you. Let's see. Tommy says, oh, they love to rent shoes. Yes, they do. That's just nuts. Blackwood Resellers, how sells on Poshmark as we've been invited into UK? If you're selling, I know that you can sell other things, but if you're selling clothing and shoes, that's a great place. You're not gonna get the traffic. If you do it right, you share your items consistently, which can be a pain in the butt. you can usually get more money for your items, the same items that you have over on eBay. That's our experience. So I would rather sell my stuff on Poshmark for two reasons. Buyers paying for a 5-pound USPS label. So my 2 to 3 pound pair of shoes, I can put in almost anything. And usually I just put them in the larger shoe boxes for USPS. But tape it up, boom, you're done, right? Don't have to weigh it, don't have to take the measurements. It's just the label prints, I slap it on, we're good. eBay, you got to get all the dimensions, you got to compare carriers, this, that, and the other thing. To me, buyer pays for the label. I'm happy they're paying more for the shoe. It's good, and all's well with the world. So definitely look into that. Also, I would say if you have items on eBay, you're pushing them over to Poshmark, maybe some Mercari, check out the link down below from Prime Lister. It's a tool that is a cross-listing tool, much like a lot of the other ones, but this one actually allows you to go into Poshmark, and any of people that are watching your items, any people who are following you, you can share your closet with these people. I think we've got like 100,000+ people that we can share our items to because they're following us. I mean, it helps to have followers and build your account that way on Poshmark too. You got to play the social media game to do well on Poshmark. If you just go there and list, don't follow anyone, and you don't have a lot of people following you, you're going to have a harder time getting eyes on your product. Amazon Seller 99. The only thing people enjoy renting more than shoes are DVDs. I think some people who buy on Amazon think the buy now box really means rent now and return for free within 30 days. Yeah, they think Amazon is the new Blockbuster Video for goods, where you can just rent it and then return it. And I think, or swap it out, because again, Amazon, if you've gone through the number of Amazon pallets that I have, you see for yourself the number of swap outs. And it's like, there ain't no way they had this for 30 days, maybe 30 years, but not 30 days, how beat up this thing is. But because Amazon doesn't check the return, as soon as you hit, you get a return scan on that label, they already start the refund process back to you. Anytime picker, Tommy wants to rent an escape room. Yeah, I can just imagine if Tommy had an escape room, it would be full of like shoes. You'd have to go from the Nike room to the Adidas room to the Saucony room. And yeah, so that would be, you'd have to figure out how to untie this shoe to get to that room. So yeah, that would be Tommy's escape room. The Monster Loon says, I remember having a job that gave random drug tests. I never got one on 421. Let's see here. I'm just a reseller. Sometimes you have to feed the beast. I do it 5.5%. What I do is I do what's recommended. So what eBay recommends, I just don't even bother with it. I let it default at what they want. Take your money, eBay. Make you happy. You put my items up in front of people, and that's been working for me. Tommy says, Roman, my bedroom is an escape room. The only reason I've been able to keep my wife around. Wow. Perfectly Blessed says, on a cruise ship, I slipped my bar waiter a cool tip early, keeps those drinks coming. I could see that, let them know, hey, it's like when I play in poker, right? I'll win a pot and I'll give a double tip to my dealer. I'll say, this one here is for the tip. This one here is for the bribe. This is a bribe for the next time, and gives them incentive. Or I'll play little games saying, okay, the next time I win a hand, I'm going to give you 3, or I'll give you 4, I'll give you 5. It'll keep building up, that kind of thing. And you get that. While it shouldn't make a difference to have someone kind of rooting for you because they know you're going to tip them, or they're wanting to see you do well. That's always good to have that karma out there. Let's see. Yeah. So Jenna's hanging out with us today. Hey, Flippin' Fam, here from SoCal. So she is watching the show. Awesome. Hopefully I'm doing a good job. Anytime picker. Jenna, John said he's going to a party after the live. Thanks, Roman. She wasn't going to go back and watch the replay. You just got me busted, buddy. No, not at all. She knows I'm going. C. Peyton says, I have very rude mail carrier. I'm afraid of her. Yeah, some of them can be like really, what's the right word? They can be, well, you're afraid of her. They can be kind of intimidating. It's like, ooh, I don't want to ask this guy, something, but at some point, you got to break the ice and just maybe make a batch of cookies. And maybe that's what I need to do, right? Maybe I need to take my own advice. Maybe I need to make another batch of cookies. I can make some pretty kick butt chocolate chip cookies, and or I got some chocolate chip butterscotch chip cookies that are off the hook that I made for Jenna to take for the family out there. Let's see. Baubles, blings, and needful things. I have my carrier's number. Text him when I've got stuff to pick up. He's top notch. We take care of him on the route because he does too. Of course, if any of us die, he'll be the one to notice. That's good. That's good. It just, and I think she's come around a little bit, but as soon as you think this carrier's coming around, right, she just disappoints. She'll stop coming. She'll, make it seem like you've not checked your mailbox in a year. You go out there and it's like, I've got nothing out here, but you just told me I had a bunch of boxes out here. So I don't know. It's just crazy. Leonard got a big sale from a $799 laptop. Awesome. That is really, really good. So hit that like button. That I'm telling you, there's something about it. Jenna, if you're out there watching, hit the like button, please, on your account, because we're just not getting anything. I don't know. Tommy says, Todd, I always have had at least one bad day per week. Just have to play the averages. It all works out in the end. Yes. Look, you're going to, 2 days ago, I had almost an $800 day. Same kind of merchandise. I'm replenishing merchandise on this account. Okay. It just is the way it is. That's why I'm not freaking out about it. I make light of it on the channel, but I'm not freaking out about it. It is what it is. Cornhusker Picker says, when it's rolling, we always bet tip at the blackjack table to give them action, maybe good karma. I like doing that. So like if I bet progressively, I'll bet $5 I lose. I bet $15 I lose. I bet 45. Okay, panic mode. Here's a $5 tip for you now to will your way into helping me win this hand. I don't know. It doesn't always work, but it makes me feel good when I win a big pot. They can get some of it. Jenna says, haha, yeah, I'm aware he's going out of town tonight, but I have no worries. John's one of the good ones. Yeah. You know what? To share with you, went on this golf trip, and we have like 88 guys out there. You don't even want to know what some of these guys were up to. Now, some of these guys had like they had an Airbnb on the other side of the river, like river access. They had 10 guys sharing a room. Somehow they had like 4 women in the place. Just hear what you hear. Most of these guys, they show up to the poker game after golf, not only drinking like there's no tomorrow, but obviously they've been hitting the peace pipe a little bit too much. And as a result, that's their loss. I basically went there with $1,000 to play some cards, because that's one of the best places to play is when you're dealing with someone that's just out of their mind, and came back with 2.5 times my money. We'll just say that. So it was a good trip. Of course, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm a good guy, and I just observe and shake my head. What can you do when you're around weirdos like that? And a lot of these people are good guys, but they think they're on vacation, and they get out there and they just act like they're back in college again. It just really, really, it's sad, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. Tommy says, Jen, I wouldn't worry about John, but I'd worry about that crew taking his wallet and make sure he has a chain on it. Well, if they take my wallet, they're going to get, I can always call and cancel my debit card. I keep my cash in my pocket, my front pocket. So they're not pickpocketing. I don't even keep my wallet in my back pocket either. Hit the like button, says Jenna. Please do that. I'd appreciate that. John Doe just got a sell from doing it. Nick Ronaldi says, I'm about $38 in sales a day. This is good emotional support. Haha. Yeah. You're doing better than me. I'll be honest with you, but that's going to change soon. I just keep it light, but I'm always encouraged that I'm going to do well. In fact, before I leave, I got some more listings that I have to fix up and launch. Picky Ricky says, progressive gambling works until it don't. You're right. But when it works, it really works. That's for sure. No one designs it. Jenna John said he's going to a container at a park. Sounds sketchy. Yep. Mark says, just put some hash cookies for the carrier and you should get better services. Yeah, she'll have a little bit bigger smile on her face. That's for sure. And she may not have a job by the time the week's up. Silver Hair Stacker. I forgot my college years 15 years ago, except for when the Alumni Association sends a letter for donations. Yeah. Yeah, some of these guys, they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and more, and they just act like wow. It's like they just found alcohol, and they bring their fancy Don Julio, big Don Julio bottles with the shot glasses, passing them around, and me, I'm like, unless you have Fireball, I will drink Fireball, but only two. I only do more than two shots. I'm done. I don't even want any more than that. Unless you have Fireball, I'm not interested. So a friend of mine had Fireball. The first night I had two shots, but other than that, I don't need alcohol. Well, I don't need alcohol anyway, but other than that, I won't drink alcohol. It's just it makes me kind of laugh inside that how people will change drastically from one type of person to totally a different person just from a few drinks. I don't know. And I'll be seeing a lot of those kind of people tonight. Mr. Buys a lot. It's a party now. Yeah, it is. Getting ready to go to a party. Actually, in downtown Vegas, Fremont Street. So Container Park, Roman Container Park sounds like a human trafficking. There's a bunch of old like shipping containers. They've turned in like a two-story like building you can go into. They have shops and they have like bands playing. They have this is kind of a cool little place to go. They've made like a little park out of, and a lot of people like to go there. Sober here says I play golf the same, drinking or sober. Bad, yeah. At least you have an excuse when you're drinking. So let me just say this. We are an hour and 35 minutes in, and I'm going to now get ready to go head out. Hopefully, some of you guys will be there this evening, 8 o'clock at Container Park at Fremont Street Experience. Meet up with the Trash to Cash group, and you meet me. And I'm sure there'll be some other people that are YouTubers that'll be there. I don't know, but I'm assuming that there will be. And it'll be just kind of a great evening. So if you can make it, be glad to meet you and talk shop. But if not, we'll always have, the one that's going to happen in Cincinnati in September. Hopefully you'll be there. But let me just say this, and let me just close with this, that in the video I made this week, you're going to deal with glitches and they're going to continue to happen. And just when they fix these, just know it's a matter of time before there will be more glitches. They will continue to happen and they will not stop until eBay gives us a brand new platform, which will cost them lots and lots of money, which they won't spend. So because of that, just know that this is going to be the cost of doing business. And that is navigating through eBay to make sales and to make things work the way they should be without you having to make them work, and tolerating things. And again, it's just like dealing with Uncle Joe at the family reunion, right? Just tolerate it and move on, make the sales, and don't let it cause you to not want to list, because there's people here there's still buyers on the platform. And as long as there's traffic and buyers, then eBay is a viable place to continue to make money. So glitches are just going to be another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent weekend. Hit those yard sales tomorrow. I will. And we will talk to each and one of you very, very soon. Take care, everyone.